This is my progress report so far on my copper coat job. First week in February 2020, we were hauled out at Reback Island shipyard, and here's a picture of the marina itself, and right up in the top corner is the shipyard. Now, I own a 2013 Island Spirit catamaran, beautiful boat. After 7 years it was time to do a full copper coat job on the hull and keels and rudder. This is a photograph of the boat before I started removing the copper coat. You really can't see how bad the crustiness of the copper coat was after 7 years. But it took some weeks to remove the copper coat from the boat using wet sanding, and it turned out very nice. And as you can see, you get a bit closer up, and I brought it back to the fiberglass hull. Initially I was thinking about bringing it back just to the fairing, but that didn't work out. After so many weeks on the hard, I realised I had a moisture problem and began to drill holes and vacuum the water out. Pause this and you'll be able to see the areas that were affected by moisture using a moisture meter. And here's the wet and dry vacuum cleaner sucking the moisture out of the rudder, one of many areas that had to be done. I had cracks in the stainless swim ladder, so that had to come off. The swim ladder was also pulling away from the transom, so the copper coat had to be removed and the fairing, and I took it right back to the GRP. Then once I got the swim ladder off, I started the process of cleaning it for welding. I knew I had a water problem in this area, so I reluctantly drilled a hole in the bottom of the transom, and out come somewhere between 30 and 40 litres of water. And then it became a thought pattern as to how the water got into the transom in the first place. I did the same thing on the starboard side transom, and there was nowhere near as much water, but still a similar problem. So I drilled that out as well. Long shot of the holes that I drilled in the starboard side transom, and similar on the port side. I decided that the problem was where the swim ladder had pulled away from the transom, so I decided to grind off the fiberglass that was and fairing that was there and see whether that was an issue. It took a while to do that. I had to be careful. I actually cut my finger doing it with the grinder. But then I smoothed it out and ground deeper and deeper, and realised that bog that whoever had repaired this used was soft and mushy, and I ended up drilling out. Then I sanded it back using 120 grit, smoothed it out and drilled a large hole in to use the vacuum to dry it out. Other moisture problems I had were also on both bows, and on the port bow. Earlier on I found the leaks from the join between the first level deck and the hull, and it was a similar problem on the starboard side of the boat in the bow section. After a lot of thought, I decided to do the same thing and drill out the starboard bow, and lo and behold, I got probably 20 or even 30 litres of water coming out of a small hole on the inner side of the starboard bow. I haven't done the port bow yet, but after it was dribbling for some time, it slowly dried out, and holes further along the bow had actually stopped running. So I think I found that problem, and I can work on that. The video was produced by myself. It's the end of another exciting video of my progress so far on my copper coat job, first week in February 2021, part 5.